Okay, welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. I want to talk to you today about wood chips. As you can see the pile behind me. Basically today is October the 3rd, and I heard a JEA crew, well, one of their contractors, out back, and they were grinding up some tree limbs and stuff that they were cutting around the electrical wires. So I went back and talked to them and had them come and deliver this big old pile of wood chips. That's chipped up wood, leaves, limbs, and I mean, you can even see there's a little bit of some palmettos in it. Essentially, what I'm going to use it for is to provide nutrients for my garden. One of the problems with a garden is that you got to have some sort of fertilizer. Now, you can either go and buy fertilizer, which I'm really trying hard not to do. I'm trying to do everything I can as cheap as I can. So what I want to do is I want to get more stuff into my yard. If you just use yard clippings, then essentially all you're doing is taking nutrients from one area and putting them in another area. So what I'm trying to do is actually add to the existing nutrients in my garden, in my yard, and then hopefully try and get everything to become a lot more fertile. One of the ways that I'd read about doing this is using wood chips. A lot of people will take the wood chips, lay them down about 6 inches deep or so, and then let them rot down, and over time that provides a real nice fertilizer for your garden. Now, there's a lot of talk about whether or not wood chips can cause nitrogen deficiencies. First off, one of the problems is that as wood deteriorates and rots, it basically takes nitrogen from the soil and it kind of absorbs that nitrogen. Well, as it rots down, it releases that nitrogen again. So in the end, you get the nitrogen back. But there's a couple things that you don't want to do. One, you don't want to dig your wood chips in. If you dig the wood chips in, then what you have is you have wood chips in the soil that are sucking the nitrogen out of the soil. If you lay them on top, however, it might pull nitrogen from the very top part of the soil, but it won't pull it from throughout the soil. It won't leach it back up. And hopefully over the wintertime, this will all rot down, or at least, you know, get the process started to where most of it rots down, and it'll eventually develop into nice, good, fertile dirt. This is not something that happens quick. If you want something quick, you're probably better off going out and buying dirt. But if you're willing to wait a few years and let things happen naturally, in the end, you will find that you have a much more consistent soil, and the fertilizer will last quite a bit longer in the long run. So, but the key is, all of this was for free. I didn't pay anything for it. And if you're in the Jacksonville area, you can contact JEA at their tree care service, basically at 904-665-6050, or at jeatreecare@jea.com. That's jeatreecare@jea.com. And they will deliver wood chips for free. I didn't realize this. There's also another website out there. It's called Chip Drop. I don't know if it works in this area, but that's another avenue that you can explore. And I would imagine that most electrical services in pretty much anywhere are going to have some sort of way to get rid of the chips. I mean, it saves them from having to take them to the dump, filling up the dumps, and it also saves them from having to pay to deposit it in the dump. And it's good for the environment. Put it back in. You know, if it's not going to a dump and it's going in my yard and rotting down, you know, much the better. So I'm going to pick up the camera here. I want to walk around this pile just to show you how big a pile you get. Now, this is basically one of the trucks that is a combination lift truck and a basically a I don't know what you call it, dump truck kind of, for the wood chips. So as you can see, it's a pretty healthy pile of chips. All right. I mean, this thing is probably 5 foot tall, and the base probably goes 15-20 feet around. Literally took them no time to dump it. Got a pretty good size. You can see, you know, for kind of a reference point, you can see the Buick behind it. So it's a pretty good size pile of chips. And I'm going to go ahead and spread this out throughout my yard, and we'll see basically how far it goes and whether or not I need another load. And if I do, I know where to get it for free. I'm all about getting everything and anything you can for free. Just no point in paying for stuff that you don't need to. All right? So that's one way to go about getting fertilizer for your garden. If you got any questions, leave me a comment. I'll do the best I can to answer them. And basically, thanks for stopping by Jim Bob's Garden. Grow something. Get yourself a garden going. You might have a good time doing it. All right, thanks for stopping by.